And there is a big political war that is playing out between the BJP and the Congress over Ram Mandir consecration ceremony in just a few days from now. Now, there has been an amping up of the political salvo that the BJP has used against the Congress, whether it is about the letter that had been shared by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru for his decision to refuse the inauguration ceremony of the Somnath Temple, or we talk about the letter that had been written by Sonia Gandhi in 2016 to Pope Francis of the Vatican for the canonization of Mother Teresa, and the latest one about Rahul Gandhi, who was on a visit to Afghanistan and ended up paying visit to the tomb of Babur. Now, on the other side, the Congress has taken up the BJP and said that why is it that the Ram Temple consecration ceremony is happening against the rules of Sanatan Dharma. There are 4 Shankaracharyas who have decided not to take part in the consecration ceremony because, according to Sanatan Dharma, the temple construction cannot happen after the idol is installed. In fact, it is the other way around, that the construction of the temple needs to be done before the idol of Lord Ram is installed in the sanctum sanctorum of the temple. So let's start off this conversation. Savio Rodriguez, BJP leader, joining me on the telecast. And Savio, first things first, was there a need for the BJP to inaugurate, to consecrate the Ram temple when its construction was incomplete?
The Indian Mega, as an Indian Christian, let me say that I personally believe that India will rise as Bharat as Bhagwan Ram returns to Ayodhya. Now, I do not come from the Hindu beliefs to tell you whether it is right or wrong, but what I do know and what I do want to convey to the people of India is that it is not only about Hindus, it is not only about politics, but it's about the entire Bharatiya Varsh, entire Bharat, that people from all faiths must be proud and must participate in the fact that Bhagwan Ram is returning back to Ayodhya after 500 years. You will have politics being played by the Congress, politics being played by other political parties, politics by BJP as well. But let me ask Congress leaders and other leaders who are refusing to go for the Pran Pratishtha, why? It is not about the fact that it is BJP. It is the fact that it is the Ram Mandir. And Bhagwan Ram does not belong to a political party. Bhagwan Ram does not even belong to just an Indian.
I'm not contending the position,
but Bhagwan Ram
the reverence, what
world.
The Ram Mandir and Lord Ram symbolize. I'm just speaking about how the Shankaracharyas, who are the pillars of Sanatan Dharma, have spoken about the laws of Sanatan Dharma being violated.
While 4 Shankaracharyas, with all due respect, have raised their concerns, there have also been Shankaracharyas and Hindu priests who have decided to do this. It is not something decided by politicians, right? So there will be certain sections of the priestly caste who believe that
then again, according to Sanatan Dharma, the 4 Shankaracharyas are the supreme individuals who then follow the Sanatan Dharma, their rules, and come up with decisions that need to be taken according to the Dharma, according to Hindu religion, to follow certain guidelines and protocols.
Are the 4 Shankaracharyas, with all due respect, the only Shankaracharyas who are there in India? Are they not other Shankaracharyas who will be attending the Pran Pratishtha? What are their views? So there are always going to be conflicting views. Let me tell you what I mean by that. There are
Okay, all
certain
right.
members.
Fair
Let me give you an
enough.
example.
Fair
Megha.
enough. I still don't agree with you when
So
we
let me
talk about
explain it to
how
you,
there
Megha.
are the four Shankaracharyas who are
Let me
constituted,
explain it
who
to
are
you. There is
appointed,
one
and
priest.
their
There is
say,
one
their
priest.
decision is held supreme for holding any of the religious ceremonies. Of,
So, Megha, I'm giving you an example.
yeah,
Let me explain
yeah,
it to you.
yeah. It's
Cardinal
similar to
Oswald
how
Gracious,
Pope
Cardinal
Francis
Oswald
of the
Gracious,
Saint Peter's
Cardinal Oswald Gracious
Basilica
of the
Church
Catholic Church,
would come up with a
Cardinal Oswald Gracious of the Catholic Church believed that the problem in Manipur was not a religious problem, but another cardinal in another part of the world, in the country, believed that Manipur was a religious problem. Both are cardinals by their positions in the Catholic hierarchy. Are you saying you cannot have a difference of opinion?
I'm talking about how the kind of position and the power that is held by the supreme religious heads of a religion, of a faith. All right, again, I'm talking about the importance and the supremacy. For example, if a statement comes from the Pope Francis himself, from the Vatican, his position, his power and his statements are going to hold precedence over all the cardinals or the archbishops of the world making statements. His statements are going to garner maximum mileage, maximum publicity. Who is then symbolizing Christianity? All right, joining also with me. Fair enough. Savio, I'll quickly come to Nikhil Jain. And Nikhil, I have a question for you. With regards to the kind of conflicting ideologies that the Congress has been playing around since 1947, particularly in wake of, like I mentioned in the introduction of my debate, it was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of our country, who spoke about secularism of the country and therefore his hesitance to go and attend the inauguration of Somnath Temple. We then saw that the President of our country nonetheless went and attended the inauguration. And then several years later, decades later in fact, when Sonia Gandhi spoke to, in fact in a letter to Pope Francis, spoke about how the millions of people in our country, including the 20 million Christian community of our country, highly regards Mother Teresa as the harbinger of peace, of harbinger of equanimity, of tranquility, of easing the pain of the people. So, while Congress would term it as an action of secularism, there are other proponents who are not going to agree to it and are going to say that Congress in fact was pandering to the Christian community of the country.
To make a couple of points, first of all, I'd like to tell Savio, my good friend, that there are only 4 Shankaracharyas in the country. The Hindu faith only has 4 Shankaracharyas. 2 of them have denied to go to the event on the 22nd of January, citing that religious rituals are not being followed and this is essentially a political event. Secondly, when we talk about Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru not attending...
Nikhil, 2 have agreed.
No. The other 2 have not commented. To the best of my knowledge, the other 2 have simply not said anything, whether they'll be attending or not.
Look at the statement.
Okay, Savio, like if you're going to dismiss the statement, Savio, Megha, can I make my bid without interruptions? I wasn't clear.
Yeah, Nikhil, please go ahead.
First of all, if 2 of the 4 Shankaracharyas are saying that the event is not in consonance with religious rituals, that a temple is being consecrated without it being complete, I don't think we can dismiss it and we can play the rule of majorities here. Be that as it may, to answer your question about the Prime Minister, Nehru not attending the inaugural function of the Somnath Temple in 1951 in Gujarat, the Jairam Ramesh has already pointed out multiple letters written by the Prime Minister Nehru at that point of time to the Home Minister of India Rajaji, to the President of India Rajendra Prasad ji, and K. Munshi Sahab and other relevant figures. And what the Prime Minister said was that he has no problem in anybody going in a personal capacity. But what had happened at that time was that when the country was in the wake of starvation, when the government had to reduce its expenditure on health and education in light of the plundering that the British had done to us, at that point of time, the Saurashtra government, a state government at the time, had given a 5 lakh rupee grant for the ceremony, and that was putting questions on the secular character of the Indian nation at the international stage. The Raj Pramukh, that is the governor equivalent of the Saurashtra state, had given that grant, and he had written letters to the embassies asking for waters from rivers of other soils, who also happened to be a Raja, who also happened to be the chairman of the trustees of the Somnath Temple. Jawaharlal Nehru never objected to anybody going to a temple in their personal capacity.
I'm
but
not
yes,
saying Jawaharlal Nehru rejected anybody else's wishes to go and inaugurate the temple or at least be participant in the function, but he himself refused to attend it.
That is because he very well understood that there is a very thin line between the individual Nehru and the Prime Minister of India.
So why was
it's
this
very
thin
hard to
line not
distinguish.
understood by Sonia Gandhi?
No. So that is what I'm coming to. First of all, there is a thin line between an individual and the office they hold, and it often gets very confusing, as is shown in Nehru's letters as well. Secondly, Indian model of secularism over the years did evolve. We did become more embracive of all faiths, the Hindu faith, the Christian faith, the Muslim faith. Sonia Gandhi had attended the 100-year inaugural ceremony of an important Karnataka temple in 2012. Sonia Gandhi expressed her regret to the Pope to not come for that Mother Teresa
you at
event.
this point in time are contradictory in the two statements
No, this
and
is
the
not
instances that
contradictory. We are looking at
you decide to put forth.
Megha, we are looking at things 60
Pandit
years
Jawaharlal
apart.
Nehru decided not to
We are
attend the
looking at
inauguration
things
ceremony
60 years
because
apart.
he wanted to hold the syncretic thread or the secular thread of the country, secular ethos of the
Separation,
country.
yes. That
and you
was
said
the
there is
time
a
when the
thin
country-
line
no.
between whatever is it that you're comparing.
Let me at least make
And
my
on the
point.
other
Megha,
hand,
let
if you
me-
say
let me-
Sonia
no, no, no,
Gandhi
no.
was
Let me make
participating in
my
the
point.
100 years of celebrations
You are-
of a temple in South India.
Can I make my point?
Yeah,
Megha?
you know,
Can I
I'm
make
saying,
my point?
I'm just saying this. I'm just saying this because
this is-
these are two contradictions that I witness.
This is not a contradiction. I started by saying that the Indian model of secularism has evolved over the decades. A country, its view, its political views, including that of a given political party, is allowed to evolve. The Indian model of secularism earlier was a complete separation of religion and state, but over the years, over the decades, it has become into something that is more embracive of all religions without any discrimination.
Then why is
from
it that
going
the
from a
Congress is
separation of church.
refusing to attend the consecration
Because
ceremony?
they've said it's a. I'm coming to that. Because the Congress has very clearly said this is a political event. This is an event of the BJP and the
But then
RSS. It does not have anything
who
to do
decides
with
what is a political
The
event and what
Shankaracharyas
is
have
not?
decided.
Who decides
The
that Somnath
Shankaracharyas-
Temple
the
inauguration is a
Shankaracharyas
political
have decided.
event, but a 100-year celebration of a South Temple is not?
No. Though Somnath Temple inauguration was a religious event, the inauguration of the 100-year anniversary of that temple in Karnataka was a religious event, and the Ram Mandir consecration should also have been a religious event, but it has become a political event, as has been said by 2 of the 4 Shankaracharyas in the country.
No, they have not.
How are we inaugurating a
The
temple?
Shankaracharyas have not said that
I'll
this has
give you the
become a
statements.
political event. What the
No,
Congress
one of
and
them has
other
said.
opposition political parties are saying is because it is the Prime Minister and there may be other political leaders who are going to be present during the consecration ceremony. Therefore, quote unquote, it has become a political event of the BJP and the RSS. Keeping in mind what Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru had said, that he does not have objection for any individual of any capacity holding any position in the government to go and attend the inauguration ceremony of Somnath Temple or any other ceremony of any other temple in our country on his personal accord. So why
Correct.
is it
So
that
that
the
is for
Congress
religious
continues
ceremony.
to beats its chest and call it a political event?
Megha, this is a political event. The Shankaracharyas have said that, and a mandir is being consecrated before it has been completed.
There is a single statement
A
that has
mandir
come
is being-
from the
You
Shankaracharyas
have just
who have
read
called
the
it
statement,
quote
Megha.
unquote a political
That's the
event. They
problem
have
with the
not called
Congress.
it.
You have
They are
just
at
read
this point of
that
time
statement.
in dispute over the technicality. The basis on which you can then expound over here and come to a conjecture is, I'm going to
So this is
point it
not a
out to you,
conjecture.
if the consecration is happening before the inauguration, then is BJP using it as a plank for the Lok Sabha 2024 election? Okay, quickly coming to you, Deshratan Nigam.
Absolutely they are.
Deshratan Nigam, the situation such as this, where the BJP and the Congress are fighting a war of words, and it is becoming more and more aggressive, and the examples that have been given by the BJP, they've looked through the archives of the Congress, whether it is about Rahul Gandhi visiting the tomb of Babur, or we talk about the Sonia Gandhi, Mother Teresa canonization event and the letter that went to the Pope. But all in all, when we also witness that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also visited the dargahs and the masjids, and he has also travelled the world, and he has met the Pope, he has gone to the masjids, he has gone to the mosques, he has gone to the dargahs across the globe. So, do you think it is a sound argument to put forth?
Well, Megha, let me make it very clear. The word secular came in 1975 in our constitution. Prior to that, Nehru had already died, and India, in its ethos, if you look at the constitution, you have the entire Ram Darbar, Ram Sita's photo in our constitution, Krishna's photo in the constitution, giving Updesh to Arjun. So it was basically recognized. Akbar was there as a king, not as a representative of Islam in our constitution. So our constitution had clear inclination towards Bharatiya civilization and Sanatan Dharma. And to call it a secular, the word came in 1975. And therefore, and through a backdoor also, when the emergency was already imposed. And so far as the Nehru's family, who used to give Bharat Ratnas to themselves, they had so much angst.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
Please hold on. Don't interrupt. I never did to you. Let me also point out the second election of Dr. Rajendra Prasad was fiercely opposed by Nehru. And Congress wanted Dr. Rajendra Prasad to become second time the president. And therefore Nehru had to back down. And Dr. Rajendra Prasad was not given even a house in Delhi to stay. He retired in Patna and stayed in Congress's headquarters, Sadakat Ashram. And in a small room, he died of poor health. This was the angst of Nehru against Dr. Rajendra Prasad. It's all recorded. There is nothing, because I'm in touch with their relatives, so I can give you first-hand information. None of you will have that kind of information.
So when you say the quote-unquote angst of Pandit Nehru for meting out the treatment that was meted out to the first president of our country, are you at this point in time then implying that because Dr. Rajendra Prasad had an inclination towards a particular religion, Hinduism, and he was of the opinion that there needs to be the entire Hindu culture and the religion that needs to be expounded, needs to be propagated, and this did not hold ground with Pandit Nehru for whatever XYZ reasons, or if you talk about the alleged appeasement of a certain segment of the society. Is this what you're saying?
Let me tell you, Pandit Nehru used to attend iftar parties. Congress used to give iftar parties even then. They continued the tradition. And canonization of Mother Teresa was so much liked by Sonia Gandhi. So there is a tradition, and there's another coincidence. Congress was formed in 1885. The first litigation of Ram Mandir came in 1985. Please remember, such coincidence, maybe you don't believe in some higher power, but these coincidences are there. And let me also point out, Rajendra Prasad was a true Sanatani. Hindu, thy name is secular. Please remember that. None of our scriptures, and he believed in Ramayana and Mahabharata. Please read about him. Don't come without reading. Look at his expounding the concepts of Ramayana and Mahabharata. You'll find enough writing by Dr. Rajendra Prasad. And secularism was not sham. Dr. Rajendra Prasad's secularism was never sham. He said Hindus never, point fingers towards any other religion. They never said they have to be eliminated. They said everybody's mode of worship is acceptable. This was Dr. Rajendra Prasad's thought. And as a Sanatani, a believer of that thought that all religions are equal and have existential right on this earth, and he used to openly, project himself as a Sanatani. And he had great differences with Dr. Nehru. So those are the facts that have to be kept in mind. And so far as the Shankaracharyas are concerned, let me tell you, they believe in Shaiv philosophy of Hinduism. And Ram is Vaishnav, incarnation of Vishnu. We have so much of diversity. They can have a difference and still be a Hindu. They believe in a different philosophy, and we respect them. We respect their view. If they want to come,
But
they
they
are most
believe
welcome.
and they stringently follow the philosophy and the protocols of the Sanatan Dharma.
Shaiv Hinduism. There are two branches that we have. There are other branches also. Shaiv Hinduism. Vaishnav and Shaiv are two very important branches, and Shankaracharyas follow Shaiv branch. And Ram is an incarnation of Vishnu, therefore Vaishnav branch is different. So we have so much, and let's not make a big halla-balla. We don't have the structure of Christianity where a pope is the singular head. We have various heads of various sects in our country. We have 7 school of thought, philosophy thought,
Okay.
which propound different things. So I'm not going to make halla-balla about whether our respected Shankaracharyas
Okay,
come or
fair
not.
enough. Point taken, and these kinds of parallels that you've drawn to come to a conclusion that you have come to can be conjectured, can be at this point in time contended by the opposition political parties, by the Congress. That's their take. But Deshatan Nigam, again, would it have harmed the BJP had it decided to wait for the construction of the temple to be complete and then hold the consecration ceremony? Would it have really mattered?
Let me tell you.
If it mattered, then is it again because of the Lok Sabha 2024 elections and the campaigning that the BJP, it seems, according to the opposition, has already started with the Ram Temple? And if it is such a thing, why doesn't the BJP come out and say so? Because it is part of the BJP manifesto.
Yes, you rightly pointed out that it has been a part of BJP's manifesto since a very long time. BJP and RSS, I think, are very proud of the fact that they took part in this Ram Mandir movement, and they have not hidden anything. It is the opposition which is now seeing, politics. If something is a part of the BJP's manifesto and has been approved by the people of this country through elections, there is nothing wrong in it, first. Secondly, an auspicious occasion has been worked out. A Muhurat has been worked out. Very clearly, such auspicious occasions come once in a lifetime, and those occasions and nakshatras, placement of nakshatras and stars are already there, and they have said so. And it is a function of Ram Mandir Trust. Supreme Court ensured that the Ram Temple is to be built. The trust is giving invitation to the people, irrespective of which party you belong to, which religion you belong to. Muslims have been invited, Christians have been also invited, the other sects have also been invited, Mathadish have been invited. Therefore, if you want to read politics into it, I think the opposition would be committing harakiri, or if I may say, slow, painful death, which actually probably through coincidence started in 1885.
Okay.
And let me also tell you, the people say religion is personal. Let me tell you, religion, Sanatan religion, is something which brings anushasan or discipline in society, brings spirituality and morality to the people at large, the part of society. It's a part of society, something which is, and that's the role of the other religions as well. The religion developed because of certain kind of discipline was required, spiritual, moral discipline was required in our society. So to call it something personal, yes, you may connect in a very personal way to God, in your own individual way, but to say that it is not a part of society in public and it is very individual, I don't agree with it.
Okay, all right. Nikhil, quickly coming to you, since we're talking about secularism and this is the basis of the political ideology that the Congress at this point in time is professing, giving reason that they would not attend the Ram Mandir consecration ceremony. There have been several instances that have been documented where Rahul Gandhi had been visiting the temples, especially before the elections, state or Lok Sabha would happen. So, is this also not contradictory to what the Congress professes?
And over and over and over again. My point has been simple. The Congress party's point has been simple, that this is not a religious event. This has become a political event. It is being done in contravention to Hindu rituals and Hindu practices. This is all about politics and it has nothing to do with religion. The Congress has time and again made its stance very clear that it is embracive of the Hindu faith, of the Muslim faith, and all the in the country, which is why time and again senior Congress leaders, including people from the Gandhi family, have been going to temples, to mosques, to gurdwaras, and to other places of worship to show their support and solidarity with people of all religion.
So has
So
Prime
when
Minister Narendra
the Congress
Modi.
party is
So
declining,
has Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
So
He
when-
has visited mosques across
this
the
is
globe.
this is no.
He has visited churches across the
What
globe.
this is?
And
First
now
of all,
he is
first of all,
also visiting
the
the
Prime
temple.
Minister.
And this is besides
wait,
the
wait.
point
Very,
that
very-
he is a devout Hindu.
Megha, you never interject when a BJP panelist is
but
speaking.
I'm
You
pointing out
absolutely
these
do
very
not.
obvious
Deshratan Saab
questions.
had
I'm
an
pointing out
absolute
the
6
questions
minute
because at this
uninterrupted
time
speech. The moment
I
I
feel
speak
the
a
need
sentence,
to
you feel
mention
the
that.
need, urgent
I'm
need
just-
to interject me. I cannot make my
I'm just
point if
saying
every
that there are
half a
certain
minute I am
points when you put.
interjected by the
Okay, go
anchor
ahead.
or
Please
by
put
another
out your point.
panelist.
Yes, go ahead. What is it that you're saying? You're saying this is a political
My point
event
is-
of the RSS BJP,
See,
but I'm saying
you will have to
if
tell me
if
what
a
I am
Prime
saying.
Minister is on a personal capacity visiting the temple, what is the objection that the opposition parties have to lay
Can I
out?
make my point, or would you make my point for me, Megha? How many times are you going to reiterate and repeat what I have said and twisting
I'm
what I
not
have said? I have
twisting
not said this.
anything.
I've
I'm
simply been
just
saying that this is.
reverberating what you
See
have
again.
said.
All right. What is the point of the debate if I cannot make my point?
Yes,
BJP
please,
panelists
go
have a
ahead,
complete
make your
speech to
point.
their floor. The Congress has very clearly said that this consecration event is a political event. It is not a religious event. As have the Shankaracharyas said, we cannot point out examples of Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi or anybody going to a temple or a mosque. It is very simple that this is a political event, and that is why they're boycotting it, not because it is a religious event. And anyway, they are not heads of state or heads of government that they should be expected to boycott anything at all.
Okay.
Secondly, when Deshratan Saab says that secular is a word that was inserted into the Indian Constitution by a backdoor entry, and Indian Constitution's culture, essence was never secular, that is untrue. The Supreme Court in Katina of Judgments has interpreted that even though the word secular may not have existed in the preamble, but the very character and nature of the fundamental rights and the provisions of the Constitution reflect a secular character of the Indian Constitution. So far as his claims about President Rajendra Prasad not being given a house and this and that are concerned, I don't know that, but given the fact that he's been factually incorrect on other elements, I am uninclined to believe them. So far as Nehru giving a Bharat Ratna to himself is concerned, it was President. There is proper noted historic evidence for it that President Rajendra Prasad, the same President Rajendra Prasad against whom apparently Nehru had an angst, gave that to Nehru without consulting the Council of Ministers.
He can't do that. He can't do that.
At the time.
Okay,
Can
you
I come in?
you've made your point. You've made your point. Okay,
you can't
fair
do
enough,
that today.
Nikhil.
We were a growing country.
Can I come in for 10 seconds?
Quickly, then Deshratan Nigam, particularly with regards to the 2 points that are being made. While the Congress is saying that this is a political event that is being played out by the BJP in the guise of the Ram Mandir consecration ceremony, and on the other hand, the BJP is implying that it is the minority appeasement politics of the Congress that has been played out since even before the independence of the country, that is reflective of their decision to boycott the event.
Well, minority appeasement is the hallmark of the Congress. Nobody can deny that. And that is why for them, it was saffron terror. They coined the word. Ram was imaginary. And also they wanted to destroy Ram Setu. So it's well established. I don't even have to, remind anybody.
It is not well established. He's lying.
These are not lies. It's documented and recorded. Please read. You're too young to confront me.
Please show me the proof that the Congress wanted to destroy Ram Setu.
Meet me. It is part of Supreme Court record. Please don't. It happened before me. Please don't do.
Please show the document on.
So come to me. I'll show it to you.
That's true. There was a case that was fought in the Supreme Court. And the reason for not building the Ram Setu has been controversial for several years now.
He's talking about destroying it.
In the petition that was filed by the then government of India, was talking about that Lord Ram and Ramayana are mythological symbols of Hinduism.
What two things are you conflating, Megha? He's talking about them destroying Ram Setu.
I don't know, shouting will not serve your purpose, Nikhil.
It was
if there is no archaeological evidence for something, do you want the government to manufacture it?
It is.
There is no
proved
archaeological
scientifically in the court.
evidence for.
It is proved in the court through satellite
Stop lying,
imagery and
Mr. Nigam.
archaeological
Why do you
samples.
think the Supreme Court, I don't know, for whatever XYZ reason, there was a discussion, there were arguments that were exchanged, and therefore the Supreme Court had decided to halt the creation of a bridge on Ram Setu. But that's again, you'll take a look at the legal documents and decide for yourself. It remains a controversial subject even today. Obviously, there are proponents who speak about Ram Setu and its existence for centuries before, and that was built by Hanuman at the behest of Lord Ram to cross over to Sri Lanka. All right, so this is all part of Ramayana, and when questions being raised, or obviously we talk about Christianity, and obviously we talk about Judaism, and we talk about Moses and the Red Sea dividing into two. Now, do we have archaeological evidence? Do we have evidence that these events actually happen? So again, I raise my point over a number of issues that we cannot delve into without having full knowledge about it. This is also about a matter of faith. So there has to be sensitivity that needs to be brought in to subjects such as this. So when, and we are delving, we are digressing from the subject, but the main issue remains again.
We're not digressing. You have finished the narrative completely.
When you talk about Ram Setu, I can have a 1 hour telecast or 2 hour telecast and then delve deep into it and talk about the other religions and the kind of beliefs they have, whether it's in the Bible or the Quran or the Holy Book of Judaism. So let's not get into it. Let's really not get into it. Anyway, I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast, and thanks for watching NewsX.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.